Hello, welcome to a new video about TMS web core for Visual Studio Code. In this video we are going to see the different ways of selecting components and to interact with them on the form designer. If you place components on the form designer, you can select any of them just by clicking in a single click, as you can see here. Actually it's on the mouse down, so whenever you mouse down on any of the components it will be selected and the object inspector and the structure panel will be updated, and when you mouse up is when you will see the handles that allows you to move and to resize the component. Also there is another way for you in which you can select a component, which is the rubber band. If you click on any area of the form and you drag, it will be shown is this selection tool, that if you release the mouse, any control that is inside this area will be selected. Okay, if we do this again, okay, this will select the right control. For multi-selection, what you can do is if you want to do it one by one, just keep the shift key pressed and then click on another control. I'm going to place more controls here, so it's better for you to see how this works. I'm pressing at this moment the shift key, so clicking on any of these controls, select that control that you are clicking over. So, and if you want to remove any of these controls from the selection, just with the shift key pressed, just click again, that control will be removed from the selection. Also, this works on containers. Let's place a T-web panel and let's place some components inside, here, here, and here, for example. If you want to use the rubber band or the selection tool inside a container, the problem is that if you click and drag the mouse, it will move the container. So for that you need to press the control key before starting the drag operation, and then the selection tool will be shown. Okay, so this is the way it works and allows you to make a selection. Okay, so just press the control key and that's it. Okay, as you can see, there are two different types of handles. One is for multi-selection and there are 4 per control. These handles doesn't allow you to resize the components. It only allows you to move those components. In order to resize a component, you need to use the single ones that allows you to resize the components on any direction, etc. Okay, that's the difference between those handlers. And also remind that whenever you move a control, no matter the set order it has, if it's in front or it's at the bottom, it will be always shown at the top. Okay, this is done for you to be easier for you in order to move a control over the form. Once you release the mouse, it will be back to its previous set order. Okay, now that we know how to select and to multi-select controls, let's see all these options that we have here, and let's see how that works. Let's place this control here. This control is at the bottom, but if I press here, this is the command of bringing that control to front, and this is send to back. Okay, the same works for multi-selection. So if I have several components selected, all of them will be bring to front and send to back. Okay, so this is the way to set up or to set the set order. Also, if I have a control selected here, what I can do is to center that control vertically on each container. Okay, this is the horizontal center, the vertical center of this form. Okay, so this control is aligned that way. So let's do it with several controls at the same time, this way. Okay, all of these controls are set on the vertical center of that container. If I do that in a different container, that also works. Okay, this is this command, and then we have this other command that does the same but horizontally. So okay, and let's put this here and this here and here. So I'm going to multi-select these ones. I'm going to align the horizontal centers. Okay. Then there is another option in order for you to design your layout. If you multi-select these controls, there is this option here, which is space equally horizontally. So if I click here, what it does is all these top left coordinates are at the same distance between them. Okay, if the controls doesn't have the same dimensions, this is could be a bit confusing, but usually is pretty useful when you have to design a form with multiple input fields and things like that. Then there is this tool which increments horizontally the space. Okay, and this one is decrementing the space, and this is to remove the horizontal space between them in order to be together. Okay, the same options exist for vertical. I'm not going to go over them because are exactly the same, but operate on the vertical coordinate. And then we have this tool which allows to align the left edges. Okay, for example, if I have this control, and this one, and this one, and I want to place all of them aligned to the left, just I select all of them and align the left edges of them. In order to select which one is going to be the reference, just ensure that you are selecting it first, and then you select the ones you want to align to that left edge. In this case here, if I want to align to this edge, just select this one first, and then it's the same. Okay, that works that way. In the same way is the right edges, and here we have top edges and bottom edges. That is exactly the same. This one is to align the vertical centers. Okay, between them is not the same as to align the vertically or horizontally. This is between them. What we do is to select all of them and then clicking here align the vertical centers between them. Okay, and here we have the horizontal centers. Those commands are exactly the same, but they operate on different coordinates. This tool is to align to the grid. The grid, I'm going to show it to you about the options later, but the grid is helpful for us in order to set a common rule and a grid over to in which we are going to place our components over. Okay, so that is very helpful for us, but sometimes a component, for example, if we change the left to here, this number is not multiple of the existing grid. So if we want to align that component to the grid, just click here and the control is moved, so it's on the right coordinates and it's aligned properly. Okay, it's very helpful when you are designing interfaces. Then this option that is checked is snap to the grid. If I disable that option, controls both in moving here, for example, as you can see, they are moving now pixel by pixel, and also for resizing. Okay, they work on the pixel by pixel mode. If I enable this back again, now I'm operating over the grid. Okay. Then we have these options, that is, for example, this one is to make same height. All the selection, now all of them have the same height. And if I select, they have the same width. Okay, so if I do this, and then I think it's this one, okay, I have all these controls perfectly aligned with minimum effort. Then there is this option that is to make same size, which does the same but in both coordinates at the same time. Okay, let's do this. Same size, all of them are now the same size, so you don't have to click twice. And this one is to, instead align into the grid, this is size into the grid. This is very, it's hard for you to notice on the screencast, but if I set the width to a non-multiple of the grid, okay, this will be sized properly. Okay, so In order to set the grid dimensions, what you need to do is on the settings of on the preferences of Visual Studio Code, you need to search for grid. Okay, and here you have the size of the grid. I'm going to place this on a different panel. Okay, these are the settings. I'm going to hide this so you can see the effect. Okay, and this is the grid. Set settings. So I can set this to 16 by 16. Okay, now the grid is having different dimensions. This is 16 by 16. So if I align to the grid, okay, it's bigger. That depends on your designing needs. Okay, you can choose in order to hide it or to show it. That is up to you. Okay, so that's it. Thank you.